station with more. You're listening to the radio station.
You're listening to
This is
Radio Biafra.
Radio Biafra. The radio station with more. You're listening to the radio station.
You're listening to
This is
Radio Biafra.
Radio Biafra.
Kesa zibrikoi amaga yangu amaga yambe sefer bam igwabri iyugo oyabab okurama oyabab osonga oyabab temnam oh
once again, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom, men and women of goodwill, conscientious people wherever you are all over the world. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and to some of you, good night, depending on your time zone. This is still Radio Biafra Extra, and we are streaming live through Radio Biafra London. Radio Biafra London is being anchored by the Deputy Leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra. His name is Mazi Uche Okafor. He is from Abatete. Abatete is in Anambra State, and Anambra State is Biafra land. Mazi Uche Okafor is the man who have assured us that he will not allow the heart of this project to see corruption. And of course, he is standing in a deputizing capacity on behalf of our Supreme Leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the King of Afari Beku, the one and the only man who stood up to speak for the collective interests of the Biafran people for almost 60 years now. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is from Afari Beku. Afari Beku is in Umuahia. Umuahia is in Abia State, and Abia State is Biafra land. By the special grace of Chukwu Kikabiama, I remain George Onyibe. I am from Abo. Abo is in Delta State, and Delta State is Biafra land. And of course, without wasting much of our time, we will go ahead to acknowledge the Creator, Chukwu Kikabiama, the one who sits in heaven and presides over the affair of man, the one who has set our feet upon this path that we must follow. He is the lifting up of our head, and of course our help does not come from any man. We do not lift up our eyes to the hills nor the mountain, but from the Creator who made the heavens and the earth. And so in my humble way this evening, I say to him, Anye na jage mau nihi na imara mahi ihunanya nenage ubiomage ojuru anyanya dadio inwe ge mgbanwe ọ dị onye dịka gị ịbụ Alpha na Omega anyị niile na-asị na n'ịdị mma o ise. And of course, without wasting much of our time, we go to our topic this evening. Of course, on this segment, our team remain back to your roots. Back to your root. I understand most of us have difficulties in trying to absorb this truth. But honestly, I must tell you, at the end of the day, you will be left with no option. You will surely go back to your root. A lot of people in time past have tried to define it based on what they feel, based on what they think it should be or it should not be. And of course, I'm not here to persuade you. I just want to remind you, to bring your attention back to one simple thing. Back to your roots. Go and find out how your father survived. How our ancestors, our father and their father before their father before their father survived. They have always been Fulani man there. They have always been Hausa man there. They have always been Yoruba man there. And we have always been there. How did they survive? Because not until we go back to our roots, a lot of things are going to be happening the way they happen. Today, we the Biafran people can boast. We develop every city in Nigeria. But sometimes we should be ashamed of ourselves. How many buildings does Hausa man have in Enugu? How many buildings does Fulani man have in River State? How many buildings does Hausa Fulani have in Delta State? We are only the wise one. But because they stick to their roots. And there are a lot of things, not until we go back to our root. Whether they are evil, whether they are good, according to your perception, it is very important. We find out why they did what they did. Because someday somebody is going to tell your father that you are your children, that you are evil. And your children will believe, because after all, you believe your father and your grandmother that they are evil. And so when I say go back to your root, the best thing you can do is relax your mind. Let it be a moment of sober reflection. Try and find out why they did what they did. And then maybe you begin to see more light than you can imagine. Having said that, our team remain back to your root. And our topic this evening on this series is simply titled, Some of the Things We Need to Know About the Sanity and the Sanctity of Our Ancestors. You need to know all about their sanity and sanctity. And of course, the grammar is a bit complicated. So let's break them down one after the other. First of all, we look at sanity. Sanity is important, or rather it is important to understand the meaning of all these things. Sanity is the ability to think and behave in a normal and rational manner with sound mental health, reasonable and rational behavior. All of them are still the same grammar, but let me see if I can rewind it. Sanity is when you have the ability, the power to think and to behave in a normal and a rational manner. When they talk about sanity, it is your ability to think. You have to think first of all. Some of the problem we have is our inability to think. We just want to look at everything white and black, blue and black. No. We should be able to look at something, have a deep thought about it, forensically look at every matter. And the moment you have this ability to look at issue forensically, you will be able to think beyond even the person who is carrying out the behavioral act. So it's not just about thinking, it is also about how to behave. There are a lot of people you see, you look at them, oh, he's intelligent man, oh, he's a fan, but they don't have character. They don't have sense. When you talk about sanity, there is a way our ancestors behave. They think properly and they behave properly in such a rational manner which projects sound health. And then if we go further, of course, in the course of this study, you will understand what I'm saying in its totality. But you go back and look at that of sanctity. Sanctity is the holiness or sacred state of anything important. Sanctity is the holiness or sacred state of something that is important. An example of sanctity is the importance of marriage, the sanctity of marriage. Everything about us as a people, we are sacred. You don't take anything common. Today, in a modern day Biafra society, we take everything common. No, there is no form of sanctity anywhere again in our land. Only very few people observe it. And so what I'm trying to say in effect, or what we are looking at this very study, is to understand how our fathers were able to develop the ability to think and to behave in a normal manner with a sound mental health. And at the same time, why they held certain things sacred in our land, a lot of things were held sacred by our ancestors. I do not consider this definition. I do not expect all of us to agree with this definition. But I want us to focus on the principle that can be put in place except there is no other embodiment of law and order alongside this principle. What I'm trying to say in effect is that as far as there is sanctity and sanity, every other principle that we find manifesting in our land regarding law and order, every one of them, I can assure you, lead us to a certain stage where our life is respected and everything about us remains normal. To enable us understand this principle and how it manifests and how it can function efficiently to enable us live as a people, I will want to go down a little bit to enable us understand where I'm going to. The grammar is too big. I'm just trying to see how I can break it down. But keep your mind on sanctity and sanity. For instance, the issue of stealing was minimal, and such that gets involved was considered cost. When you want to look at the issue of sanctity, in the ancient days, there is no armed robber. Believe me. In the ancient day, during the time of our ancestors, there is no armed robber. But people do have gun. I remember as a child, if you are arrested for stealing, what you used to hear is burglary, breaking and entry. And I remember in the community where I was brought up, if you go to a police station, they say, what is your offense? You say burglary or breaking and entry. It look like you have destroyed the whole world. You are considered a cursed person. You are considered a cursed person. I'm not telling you, they told me. As a child, all the houses in Abo, Urugudu, none of them have key. None of them have key. But of course, they have door. There is one rod that looks like iron. It is curved as the moon. Then they put a hole by the door. We will take this rod and pass it through the hole, connect it inside the house, and use it to move the boat. That is how we open our door and we lock the door. I remember vividly well that when we are going to school, we use this boat to lock the door, and there is a hole on top of the door. We keep the key there. The next neighbor will see us keeping the key. Somebody who is passing will see us keeping the key. But do you know nobody comes to steal? If I stay back and I begin to imagine, these people were wealthy, but there were no need to steal because of the sanity and sanctity of our community, a character developed by our ancestors. I'm trying to break it down so that you understand what we are trying to say this evening. If you were caught stealing, I'm not talking about London, no. I'm telling you Biafra land, Abo, where I come from. For instance, most communities in Biafra land, except Fulani herdsmen, have destroyed the sanctity of our community anyway. You go to the farm, you harvest yam, for instance. It could be cassava or any other farm crops, farm produce. You will heap it on the main road while you are waiting for vehicle to convey it to maybe the marketplace. What you do is you take a stone, like in my village, you take a stone, you put it on top of the cassava or yam, and you walk away. The moment somebody see that stone on top of that cassava, nobody touch it. No armed robber, nobody. It can stay there 1 month and get rotten and decay there. Nobody will touch it. That is sacred. They have this mindset. In those days, the thought of going to robbery is not there. That was because the principle of sanctity and sanity was in place. But let's look at the society we find ourselves today. 90% of the people in Nigeria, they use German hammer. There is a door known as German hammer. That is what they use. Door so strong that even armored tanker cannot pull it down. Modern day Steve don't even break door again. They just break your wall and enter. But the point is, what is the difference between us now and our ancestors? The absence of sanctity and sanity. We'll move ahead to the second one there. I'm just trying to create a background for us to appreciate some of the value that have been missing from our life that our ancestors have. How do they manage a society without armed robber? I'm talking to Biafrans. I witnessed that time. Today, when you see our house, you see first protector, second protector, another burglary, then another German hammer door. Different door, only one house. And if you check that house now, only bag of garri, some people even change their pot of soup. They will chain it and padlock it. How did we get here? The essence of sanctity and sanity. But they are telling you, your fathers are evil. The ancestors are evil. The ancestors are evil. Don't mind them. They are evil. They were evil in their way. But in their time, where I come from, there is nothing like armed robber. In fact, I know one family that was accused of having stealing in their blood. Nobody goes close to them. I won't mention their name. But even at that, maybe it's a mistake. But the whole community see them as people who have stealing in their blood. Because they considered a lot of things sacred. The issue of rape and infidelity was hardly noticed in the society, and those that are caught in the act are considered cursed, and a great consequence awaits their action. In those days, maybe at the age of 11 years, I was still wearing pants they draw Superman or football. And when rain start falling, we just pull out the whole trouser, jump inside rain, start bathing. Some of the girls are older than me then, and I'm older than some of them. We pour water on the passage, we swim inside. We are referred to a village, we are villagers now, Abi. But I cannot remember. In fact, I cannot comprehend what it means to rape a woman. I just cannot figure it out. Most of you will think that these cultures and traditions have disappeared. It's a lie. They are still very much intact in many remote villages in Biafra land. Of course, where you have the sanctity and the sanity of the community intact. I have said this before. I went to an island in Bayelsa. And when we got to this island, I saw grown-up ladies between the ages of 20 and 25. All of them were naked, bathing in the public stream. And when the boat took us to that end, I looked at everybody in the boat, and they didn't notice anything. I looked at the side of the river there. A lot of adults were there. Everybody was just minding their business. And there are big girls, naked, bathing inside the water. And I was like, you don't mean it. What I'm saying should be maybe 3 years ago. Is this still possible in a place like this, in a generation where we are sexually embarrassed? And then grown-up men are looking at grown-up women naked, bathing. And can you tell me there will be raping in that community? And of course we understand this generation is sexually embarrassed. Why did I say so? If they want to advertise St. Maurice, they bring naked girl. They want to advertise tomato, they bring naked girl. They want to advertise even Bible, they will bring naked girl with painted lips. But I saw it in Bayelsa. I watched them, maybe they will be shy and to cover their breasts. They didn't even notice me. We went and we came back and we left. That is because there is still sanctity and sanity in that community. These were the attributes, the character of our ancestors. And then you can imagine somebody coming from that community and say, they rape me or they rape me. It's impossible. Our ancestors has reason. They were where they maintain all those things. That is one. For instance, as I'm speaking to you today, it took so many years after my marriage before that ideology left my head. We don't sleep with people's wife. We forbid it. According to my culture, when you go and have an affair with another man's wife, sudden and dangerous death awaits you as a man. And of course, it's written in the Bible. It said, do not go unto another man's wife. For you do not light a fire in your bosom and expect them not to burn you. That is the fate of any man who goes on to another man's wife. You don't do it in my place as a man. And when you have poison, motor accident, some mysterious death affect somebody, the first thing they ask you is, Did you go on to another man's wife? It is impossible for a man to do that. Today, I can assure you, without any form of shying away, being economical with word, we all know what is going on today. How did we feel all these things? Because they all have transcending effect on every other thing we do. If a woman decides to go about and bring in Yoruba or Hausa son out of infidelity, this is what will happen to them, according to my culture. If the man know the wife is moving up and down and he still feed from the man's table, the man will die. If the woman deliberately continue to have affair outside the matrimonial home, according to my tradition, the first son will die. And if he did not repent, the second son will die. And if he does not repent, the third son will die. And so when in my place, first son die, second son die, third son die, they know what is happening. In some community, they will go mad. Most community in Benue State, if their wife go out of the marriage to have affair outside the marriage, most of the community, the woman will go mad. We are coming now. And so that time, there was no need for infidelity. There were rules that guide everybody. No, there was no need for it anyway. I'm trying to make you understand what is sacredness, sanctity. Today, what have our life become? Because these things we are just looking at, child's play, they have destroyed the very fabric foundation of our existence as a people. Let us continue. Number 3. The issue of visiting specific village side like market, the river, the farm required divine principle which you are not allowed to violate. You know, somebody will say, oh, how does this thing concern the Biafra we are looking for? It does. We will come there later. A lot of things are held sacred in terms of visiting market. There are some markets, they tell you that this market is every Tuesday. This market is every Wednesday. This market is Eke Nkwo. This market is so day. They don't want to see you in that market, outside that market day. There was a reason. Some markets are called night markets. They don't go to that market daytime. There is a reason. There are guides or rules that governs every community. They have sacred sites. We used to hear evil forest in those days. What do you know about evil forest? All this land were sacred. They served a very vital spiritual role. They play a very vital spiritual role in our society. You look at river. You don't go to every river. For instance, when I was a child in Abo, we have many rivers. We have Iyinwako. Iyinwako is a river that accepts everybody. Man, woman, everybody can go to that river. It doesn't forbid anything. And then there is another one, Iyimeri George. You are welcome only woman. You don't want men inside. Some river, they will say, do not spit inside this river. Some river forbid you from urinating inside. Some river forbid stranger from entering. Some river forbid indigene from entering. Now, if you are listening to me now, you are in Abo. Go to Lagos Asaba Road by Uromi Junction. There is a river there. It is called Iyakon and Iyekbe. Iyakon and Iyekbe. Iyakon is black water. Sorry, Iyekbe is black water. Iyakon is white water. The Iyakon that is white water flows. But the Iyekbe that is black water does not flow. but they are sharing common boundary. It is forbidden to go and bath in this one and then come back to the other one. You will be dead that day. I'm not telling you test by moonlight. It's still in Abo there. These were sacred water sites. These were knowledge beyond our understanding. But because we say, oh, it's our tradition, it's sinful, forget about it, leave it, move ahead. And so we neglect them. What I'm telling you, they are still lying down there. If you are listening to me now from Abo, just go to Uromi Junction, stroll down towards Mr. Biggs. You will see the bridge there. I'm not going to talk of Iyorugudu. But these areas were considered sacred. I can tell you throughout I grew in the village there, in Abo there, till I got old. I have not seen anybody walking, taking bath in that black river. We can only look at it. Even to go there and kill fish is sacred. But of course, on the white one, they cook hot drink there, kai there, they sell water there. Life is normal. These are sacred sites. We have burial ground. Not everybody is allowed to be in burial ground. In fact, you are not supposed to be in burial ground except you have assignment. But some people say, no, it doesn't mean it's a burial ground. But you do not understand what it means. The reason the land of Biafra has not vomited us as a Biafra is because most of us, our umbilical is buried on this ground. And then the Fulani are coming to bury their own umbilical in our father's land. But we will get there anyway. And so what I'm trying to say in effect is, I want you to go back, find out this sacred art. And then you find out why your ancestors keep to those very doctrine. And then you understand why they survived for a very long time. Visiting a lot of sites is very sacred. People tamper with what they don't know. Today there are trees they say don't cut. The first thing your pastor or Yoruba pastor will tell you, oh, this tree is the community feel evil. This tree is what is killing the community. Let us cut it down. They will do deliverance. They will cut down the tree. Don't you know that in some places in America, if you cut down tree, you will go to jail? America may not project their culture the way we do. But I know in many communities in America, for instance, if you cut down tree, you will go to jail. You don't even have right to trim the tree without taking permission from government. But we are here doing miracle, delivering ministers, prophet and prophetess, cutting all these trees down. Don't you know they have a role they play in our community? Go to every community in Biafra land. They have a specific tree they use for boundary. It will amuse you that those trees don't grow anywhere except where there is boundary. Go to your village, find out the tree you people used to make boundary, land boundary. Watch that tree. It hardly grow in another location except where there is boundary. You think God is joking? You think our ancestors do not understand who their creator is? Where I come from, there is a tree we use for boundary. We call it Eshishegbon. Oshishegbon. You hardly see that tree growing anywhere. Anywhere you see that tree, it's a boundary. Alinwoke. But all these sacred things, they are no longer there. Some people who still have it in their ancient sites, in their land, community land. The moment you buy it, the next thing they cut the tree down, they put beacon. Then when you move out, another person will adjust the beacon. But all these things have a role to play. It prevents enemy from invading. It prevents people from defiling our land. It has so many benefits. But if you do not know how they function, they say, oh, that tree is sinful. We cut the tree, the community are going to, all of you who did family deliverance, who have cut most of this tree down, how market? I'm just trying to create the foundation to enable us go deep into this study. But some of these things, most of you have forgotten. We look at the fourth one there, the issue of worship. The issue of worship, religion of our ancestors. They have a way to worship. Our ancestors have a way to worship. Native doctor does pray. I want you to go home. Look at all the native doctor, those one they call witch doctor or evil doctor. Look at all of them. They pray. Find out who they are calling when they are praying. If you are open-minded and follow them, you will see they pray. I have an uncle that is a native doctor. Very old uncle. He's a junior brother to my grandmother. I don't know how to call it, whether it's uncle or, but very old uncle. He's a native doctor. And as a native doctor, when we go to his house, I see his shrine, I see everything. We call him Obebulu. And he prays. I was close to the man. He prays. And each time he pray, this is how he pray. Chukwu nonye bere onye ke eluigwe lale. You can backward the kunu anye fe na arose anye fe ni hole anye fe ni hun anye fe ni hun. Chukwu nonye be eluigwe lale ama you can nye refe. Eta higwa mora maka ni potiem, wili oge, wili manya, ni here mason yenye. Then they bring out native chalk and blow and blow and blow. I'm not hearing them calling Satan or Lucifer. What is simply saying, the creator of heaven and earth, thank you for bringing me to see today again. I bring before you drink offering and fruit offering. Accept it that today that is a K unko or for Oye, that he may be well with me. But I'm not going there now. I am telling you that they have a way they worship. Because the way they worship is not the way Oyibo worship. We say their own is safer. Now, let me tell you something. When we say you are praying, our ancestors never prayed for themselves. They don't pray for themselves. Our culture and tradition does not allow us to pray for ourselves. We pray for people. We decree. The difference between praying and decree. Praying is begging. The father can pray for the children. But when it concerns him, he decree. In fact, it's difficult for a father to pray for children. For their children. They decree. They can pray for the village. O creator of heaven and earth, protect our village. Help the poor, help the widow, take care of all of us. God, we are looking at you. No father goes to this, no son go to the father and say, Daddy, please, I'm begging you. I want to pay school fees. Daddy, please, please help me, Daddy. I want to pay school fees. Nobody will do that. There is no son that can come to the father. Even you as a father, how will you feel? Your first son or your last son or daughter will come to you in the morning and kneel down and say, Daddy, please now pay my school fees now. Daddy, please now, they are chasing us. It doesn't happen. They talk to you as if they are the one working the money for you. They just bend their neck one side. Daddy, they say you should bring school fees. So that is how it's supposed to be. And then if God is our father, when we go to him, he said, if you being evil know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more your father in heaven? And so our people decree. And that is why they tell you, ane kweku, ane meme, ane agwo, ane ri. But they pray for people. They pray for people. Now, I'm trying to bring out certain things that will enable us to understand. There is a way they do things. Everything was sacred to them. They do farming. Before they eat, they must dedicate it to God. Sacred. Iriji. But to tell you, some of these cultures have been bastardized already. That is why when it comes to Iriji New Year Festival, we go to countries where they don't plant yam and celebrate it. But in those days, aside Christmas, New Year, Independence Day, and other small celebration, one of the most wonderful celebrations we have that take us to the village is New Year Festival. They display masquerade. They cook a lot of pounded yam. They thank the God of harvest for another 1 year or for bountiful harvest. But because our ancestors were doing it, it's sinful. But when you go and do Thanksgiving and harvest inside church, it's holy. The day we abandon our culture and tradition. That is why we are where we are today. We look at the number 5. They have guideline for health workers and other public service departments. Our ancestors have what is known as native doctor. They have town union of various type and the principle of governance. Like I say, this is just introduction, trying to create, to bring you into this topic so you understand what we are saying. They have sanity and they have sanctity. These two principles are very good in their life. They don't play with it. And now, they have guideline on health workers. If I see today, I look at people. They say, oh, the man is a native doctor. Automatically, you are evil. The man is a herbalist. Automatically, you are evil. Let's go by these two names. When they say somebody is a native doctor, there is no suggestion that the person is evil doctor. Native. It's like they say, oh, this is a Greek fowl and this is native fowl. Because they put native fowl now become evil. They are simply telling you, this is our doctor. He is not a Western doctor. He is our own native doctor. If somebody come in now, where are you? I say, I go see native doctor. They say, oh, you are a sinner. When they say Luke, one of the disciples of Jesus Christ, is a physician, do you think he's a London doctor? He's a Obebulu, native doctor, better one. Does that name in the real sense suggest that they are evil? And then when they say he's a herbalist, does it suggest they are evil? But because it's our own now, it's in our culture, the imperialists have told you it's sinful. Now they are hiding. But there was no need for that. Our people have the way to manage them. Now let me look into that a little bit. We have different kind of doctors. You have native doctor. We call them Ubebulu. You have herbalist. We call them Dibie. And of course, there are some that are referred to witch doctor, sorcerers, seers, among others. But if you begin to look at the way this culture has been destroyed, you will say all of them are evil. Let me go back home again. In my grandmother's house, the next family compound to my grandmother were also native doctor. They have native doctor in their family. Because without a native doctor, plague will destroy the whole community. Sickness and disease does come. Onyibe doctor was not there. So they need their own herbalist or native doctor to take care of them. But they are different categories. The native doctor close to my grandmother's house were the type that were referred to witch doctor. They don't do anything good though. They are the one that poison fowl, poison goat. In fact, if you want to do achiere, okubut, ababet, that is what they specialize on. EB. That's our neighbor. But do you know, as far as I can remember, that man never poisoned our goat. He never poisoned us. He never attempted on us. Because his own job is to do the work of Satan. He does it. Everybody know him. So you go there, you say, oh, Dibie, please, I want you to kill Mama Karo. He will say 1,005. You pay. He will not do his own. He will tell you, you can't kill Mama Karu. The gods are favoring Mama Karu. Go, I will not kill. But when Mama Karu hand is faithful, they will kill Mama Karu for you very quickly. They were in the community. We know them. They say, leave that man on a bad man. But there are people that monitor them. Because when Mama Karu die, we have people known as the seer. The seer will tell them, is that man that sent or Tamba that killed Mama Karu? They will go to that man and said, why did you kill the woman? Confession will lead to confession to confession. That is to say, if you are some kind of native doctor, be very careful before you act, because there are people who are greater than you waiting for you, but they still need them. Imagine if all those people are the ones we have now, they are looking for their brother to do our bet. Imagine if all those people are all these Fulani on the checking point, just give all of them our bet. Better our bet. By the time they say go to Biafra land, you will say no. But of course, we will get there, don't worry. And then they have another ones they call herbalists. They fall in different category. They just like when you have when you come to the medical sector, all doctors are not doctors. We have some that studied family medicine, and then you have a gynecologist, optician, dentist, surgeon, and the rest of them, orthopedic and the rest of them. They are all doctors, but specialized in different ways. There are people that their duty is to take delivery. There are things they do. And in those days in my community, if you are not a special native doctor for child delivery and you try it, you are in a big trouble. There are those that are specialists, special herbalists. They are the modern days pharmacy. They are the one now working in Madagascar that Nigeria is going to buy Abu from. But here in Nigeria, here in Biafra, we have destroyed all of them. And so they have rules of governance. Why they have all this setup, both good and bad, they have a system that governs them. They have people that monitor them. As they go to your farm, they steal yam. Somebody will call, come, oh Mike, did you steal this yam? Mike say, no, I have not come out today, because they know Mike is the yam stealer. Then they know there is invader in the community. But if it's Mike will say, sorry, it's a mistake. They will say 7 goats, 3 white cock, 2 rapper. Of course, Mike will not be fast to go and steal, according to our culture and tradition. All these things I'm saying created sanity. That is why we never have police. Not because we don't need them. That is why we don't have Otimpu. Not because we don't need them. Everybody know the do's and the don'ts. In our society, as primitive as they are, as evil as they told you they are, there was no need for policeman. There was no need to build fence. There was no need to be afraid of who will poison you. There was no need for you to run for anything, because every system was designed to work harmoniously. Everybody respected their position. Number 6, code of conduct and the privilege of non-indigene. In every instance, there are rules that are meant to govern the indigene and the non-indigene. For instance, where I come from, and I know it is the same thing with all of us who are Biafra. In Abo, they call it Freetown. Freetown because if you enter there, they take you as one of them. As an Abo man, I go there and fight another tribe. The Obi of Abo is not going to take it lightly with me, because we are forbidden from attacking stranger. Because the moment you live there, you become a member of the family. And so, societally speaking, I do not have right more than a non-Abo indigene. All of us have the same right. But the day the person will not take advantage and say, I will deal with you. You think say you be Abo, I will deal with you. That day he has invoked the wrath of the community. They will chase him out that day. So we are forbidden from attacking stranger. But when the stranger crosses boundary, we address their stupidity. And so they have principle. All these things I'm telling you, they are verifiable from the Bible. At least this is the closest source we have. But I'm bringing all these things so you know we come from a very serene society, a very civilized society. But how we come to agree that all those things are evil and we push them away is what I don't understand. And if this principle were put in place, Alamajiri will not be flocking into Biafra land because our land is sacred. By now, mysterious death will hit all of them. Mysterious death will hit all of them. They won't even come. Were they coming to our land before? But the moment we destroy Umenala, Unsoala, then things fall apart. Number 7, they have mode of protecting lives to make sure that in the course of every day, the community leader and the family of the disease, there are ways they put things in place to protect life. They have institutions who is meant to protect people in every way. They monitor the source of drinking water. They monitor the source of food, the market, everybody coming in. They monitor everything. Today, all those things have changed. All those things have changed. Sanity and sanctity were in operation at its highest level, which cannot be compromised by any single individual or community, as the consequence was grievous, very bad. If you compromise these tools of sanctity and sanity, you are gone. It does not respect anybody. It's not favorable to anybody. No room for favorism or favoritism. It gave everybody a perfect platform to operate, and that is when they say live and let's live. But all these principles are no longer in place because the instrument to sustain them, all of them, have been taken away. The instrument to sustain them, all of them, have been taken away. And of course, in our next study, we will look at this instrument that enables them to bring about sanctity and sanity into our society. Today, in our marketplaces, it's Hausa and Yoruba that will tell us where they will stay. You can't do that before. In fact, let me tell you something to make you understand that some things we take as if it doesn't mean anything. It means so much. My mother is from Umunede, and they have a market known as Ube Umunede. That land belongs to my grandfather that gave birth to my mother. It is their family land. But all of them traveled out of Umunede in those ancient days. And they didn't come back. They spent many years in the West. And when they came from the West, from grandfather to great-grandfather and the great-grand-grand-grand, one of them married in another community known as Mbili. And then he stayed with his children. He didn't go back to Umunede until he died. And his children know that this place is our mother's village, not my father's village. So they have to return home. When they got home in those ancient days, their father compound has become the community market. Of course, they are related to the king's family. They went to the king and said, we need our father's land back. It's now the community market. And the king said to them, that land can no longer be given to this family. Why? Because the market represents the community. The market is not one-man property. It represents the community. But of course, what they have to do is to relocate them, give them another land, even help them to rebuild their father's house. But according to our culture and tradition, there are principles that governs that market, tradition and culture that cannot be broken. And so what we are trying to tell you in effect is that the life did not start today. We understand the value of that land today. If we do not respect our culture and tradition, we will take Obi of Umunede to court. We may succeed in bending down the whole Umunede, but our ancestors will not be happy with us. Today, somebody will wake up and go and sell community markets. And somebody will come and decide what happened in a community market because they don't know what they are toiling with. And the more we are neglecting all these things, the more the enemy take advantage to undo us. All this area I have mentioned, please go to the west. You will see they don't play with it. Those of you in Lagos, ordinary Aswani Oja. Aswani Oja remains Aswani Oja. That day of market is that day of market. You think Yoruba don't know what to do? Have you been to Dugbe market? They understand all these things. You go to the north, there is a way they control your market. You know what is happening in Sabongeri? They can give Igbo people market, but they will put Hausa to monitor all of you. Because they understand that market, the spiritual implication it opposes. But do you know, like in Port Harcourt, Slaughter Market, a whole River State community market is headed by Hausa people? I bet if Wike can go there, they will beat him up. Hausa. Why? Because we don't understand the spiritual implication. There is a place of anointing. If you give her the place of anointing, the wealth of the community follows those people. Like talking about having sacred sites. If you go to your Bible, there is something referred to as the city gate. The city gate is where people gather to make decisions that affect the whole community. The elders will go to city gate. That does not mean they have a gate mounted there. Because when they were talking about city gate, the people who made mention of city gate have not seen the gate we use today. But it was a, how do they say it in literature? When I remember it, I will tell you. It was something that was used to create impression of what that place represents. A city gate is where decisions are made. And so when elders gather in a particular piece of land, they say this is where we make decisions. That place becomes the city gate. And in the course of coming together to make decisions, they offer prayers. And they ended up saying, these are community Shiran, community Shiran. I want you to check your community. Almost all the community city gates have been sold to strangers. Watch Dangote and other people coming into our land. They target your city gate. Watch almost all the churches. They target your city gate. Because in your community, say, oh, our father, then they do juju here. Then they do juju here. Now, evil forest, we no go enter. You go sell and give pastor. All of you will become slave to that pastor. Because men and women seek the face of God on that land. Because that is where decision is taken. I tell you, if you want to use force to eject those people, your own land will fight against you. The world is not just about physical. The world is about spiritual. The war we are fighting in is not about AK-47. We are more spiritual being than physical being. Though we operate in 4-dimensional world, don't let anybody deceive you. All these things look as if it doesn't matter. They really matter. I was on Facebook yesterday and I saw Onyibe man cooking with clay pot. I called the person with it. I said, see Onyibe, they use clay pot to cook soup. He was analyzing it, how nutritious it can be. But it's evil and outdated. Onyibe man was cooking with clay pot. Do you know what is clay pot? Ubube. Ubube, that is what we call it. Ubube. But we leave that for another day. Everything I have said so far is to make you understand that our society was that organized that there was no need for armed robber, there was no room for invaders, there was no room for defiling of our culture and tradition, there was no room for raping, there was no room for nonsense. You can only think something good, something pure, something holy, something that can edify. Everything they need was there until we believe that they are evil. Now, I'm not asking you to go there. I want you to go back and understand how they survive. And then in our next study, we will move ahead to see some of the principle that was deployed or that was applied that allowed them to have such a peaceful society. It's going to do us a good deal. It's going to help us very well. I'll be back in a minute.
We need to go, we need a freedom, we need a Biafra restoration. United Nations declare them wanted because they want to kill us, they want to wipe us, they want to finish us. Hey, they are the one, the Boko Harams, they are the one. Please declare them wanted. They are the liars, they are the cheats, thieves, and the criminals. Buhari, you are the one. Boko Haram, we know you. Israel, you are there. Support United Nations to declare them wanted. They want to Islamize us. They want to kill us all. They are the one to go around. They can't stop Biafra. They are the baboons and the monkeys. The people by their side, they are liars. They are the baboons and the monkeys. They want to kill us, no way. Biafra must stand. There's no going back, 'cause we are the will of God. You need a gun, you need a weapon, you need a worship. Muhammad Buhari, you are the one, you are very bad, we know you. You need a gun, you need a weapon, you need a worship. Muhammad Buhari, what is your mind? Oh, soldiers in the zoo, think very well, reason very fast. Come and join us now. Biafra is very real. Navy in the zoo, police in the zoo. Come and join us now. Biafra is very real. They want to Islamize now. Come and join the Biafra now. Come and join a better place. Mohammed Buhari, you are the failure to Nigeria. Mohammed Buhari, you are the Boko Haram, we know. Isoko Ahaba Ijo.
Yes, of course, Abasia Yaya, the hand of God is involved in what we are doing. Understand, this is the agreement we have with nature. This is agreement we have with Creator. These are the ways of Elohim, not the ways of man. These are knowledge. It's too much for man to understand. But we have them laying bare before us, but we turn them down. Our lines are open at this moment. Our WhatsApp line remains 070-815-45642. 070-815-45642 is our WhatsApp line. Our direct line is 081-221-52971. 081-221-52971 is our direct line, and the special number for the female is 081-288-58614. 081-288-58614. And of course, when you call in, tell me some of those ancient culture and tradition from your own place that protected the enemy from defiling our land, from invading our land. People do not understand the magnitude of or consequence of neglecting these cultures and tradition. I don't want to make it like a Bible study. If not, I will be referencing them to you in the Bible. I can drag them to the issue of the sons of Samuel, the sons of Eli, how these people broke that law and their land was defied and the glory departed. Caller on the line, your name and where are you calling from? Caller on the line, are you still there? Of course, we lost that. Caller on the line, are you there?
I don't want to take Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
Good evening. This is female line, please. It's female line. Call the male line, please. Yes, a caller on the line. Are you there? Monitoring spirit. Good evening from here. Go ahead, please.
Maazị Onyibe, Chukwu Okike abịa ma chịpụrụ ime ihe niile onye ikere niile dị n'ọba aka ya goziere m. Taa, Maazị Onyibe. Their position in Biafra is in that temple. I am telling you, today is the 15th day of May 2020. Listen, Lord, I can't always say we should be able. Let them the car know we are waiting. Yes, our land. Because you are not Biafra to run go para. Oh, when I am not for you, always an after you, always an Alapia. You cannot be a video. That is the method. You got them the car of you to say, I want to go to the home. You cannot be a video. I have to go for. Biafra translated, we are chosen by the Most High to restore Biafra as the kingdom of heaven on earth. It's not violence. The violence wants to take it before, but I cannot take it. I do for no, I know you come shut up. I will be in that temple with my Johnny. Listen, let me tell you people. Go to Mekai, M-O-I-C-A-H, Mekai, chapter 2. Verse 11 and 13, very, very important. Read it from 1 to end. Chapter 3, verse 4, 5, 6, and 11, very, very important. Read it from 1 to end. Chapter 4, 1 to end. Number 1, with that temple, the best among all in the world. Tell them not the kind of free and to broadcast here. Also, I'm waiting here the Kaka. Oh, I don't go to Canada about Rebata. And the cat of the kind of a phone, what can more care for Caspato? How will you work in the work? Papa, a prayer after that, and I'm the Caliana. Then I want to put the game. Then I am now got a war. That of me, I'm not going to me. I forgot to get a parent. Want to happen. I will be him now. As to my sacrifice, Golem Henry. I got some Biafra that on your annoyed. Homo Biafra elected. Ezra chapter 9. Verse 2, very important. Read it from 1 to 8. Ezra chapter 10. Verse 1 to end. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 15. Very, very important. Our blood has been used. You know you people. My son, you began on that also here. But the truth is the inner and the outer court. They got something there. We are not joking. We will teach every word, and that is that we never forget. And that look, from now to that day, they will not. You don't know. God has to die. That way, that is the war before. God bless me. They have come and get on what they do here. Or they have to tag along. Or they have to tag along. Go on at home. I never knew that. This time was there. They be afraid on hand. Then a police. On your block. Man, they go for them to go. That time they see. Oh, no, why do we do that? I'm not going to carry freedom. I don't know when you only make that. God will find and make a yard of man. So now we are oppressed. That is why we are. That's the blood we have. Thank
you. Everybody must heal Biafra. Our leader in 2 of his broadcasts made mention of something. He was calling out to some people. He said, you cannot sell the community land. You cannot sell the community land. Now, these are the things you must understand. They are all there before us, but you will not understand. If those people move ahead and sell that Afari Beku community land, they will born vagabond. Their children will turn to vagabond. It will bring curse on their whole generation, except it's not family land. But if it's family land, the only place they can go free is when somebody did not interfere. Now, let me tell you a shocking secret. And if you find yourself as a victim of that very thing, you just talk to your creator. He will see you out. I want you to look at every military personnel, from police to army. Look at all of them. Look closely into their family. They have problem that makes money insufficient. So that time policeman just see you, rob you, thief you, do you anything as a Nigeria, they go away with it. They don't go away with it. I want you to look at every policeman you know. It's either their husband don't have head or they have sickness that they cannot cure. There is something, a problem always tormenting them. And if they don't know, it will be bad. If you are not experiencing it now, ask God to intervene in your matter and stop maltreating people because of your power. Because there is a God that sits in heaven and presides over the affair of man. The same way, watch people who have authority over men and they rubbish the men. Watch almost all the pastors. If they don't soak their family in blood, if they don't keep their hand clear, it didn't start from your hand. Samuel was the most righteous man that the Bible has ever talked about. In fact, when Samuel was of old age, he knew his children cannot represent him, nor Israel. Samuel was the man that summoned the whole Israel and said to them, I am old now, and I can see that I cannot force my children on you because of their moral background, very poor. But before I die, I challenge you before God and man. If I have taken your sheep, if I have done anything wrong among the people of Israel, rise up now and speak, or forever hold your peace. He challenged everybody before the presence of God. They didn't find anything wrong with him. But look at his children. What of the priest Eli? So it didn't start from you. If you are not careful about some of these principles, that is why it is today in our own land, Fulani are the one harassing us, intimidating us. Fulani are the one, Yoruba, using our head in our own father's land. Oh. You think it's normal? Do you think it's normal? There are other areas we will look into certain matter. Let us stop it there for now. Yes, caller on the line. Are you there? Caller on the line.
My big brother.
Good evening from here. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, this is your blood brother. This is your blood brother. Born and brought up in Delta State and in beginning of Delta State. The ambassadors of one. My name is Okoredi. Onyebirika Onyeka.
Ndonwa. Ebenyi Rumbili. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Dodo, my brother. Onyen Johnny Cool, Mama had Paul, and this IPOP IPOP. I was on the oath. So I am IPOP member at Anambra State. Owanyango precise at them for Omoba.
Quite unfortunate I lost that caller, but we must continue. If you can, please try and call back. Caller, what's up? Are you there?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening from here. Go ahead, please.
My name is Afambo Paul Okechukwu Ibagwa from Oga. I got Anambra State. Well, since all this while, I've been following your program and been hearing you. I'm the one that have been disturbing you over the time concerning the place is done in Oka, which have been disturbing one of the leader you send my number to that called me one day. Since then, I've been disturbing him. I have not been able to direct me. But that is not the reason I called. The reason I called is
you will be a little bit patient so that after the lockdown, I know they will attend to you. Go ahead, please.
Okay. The reason I called is because of concerning this Biafra issue and the way you are treating some certain matters. You are touching many things at the root. The way you are touching many things, the thing will always touch my spirit and soul whenever you talk and speak concerning this issue of returning back to your root. Tons of things concerning the native doctor of a thing or whatever. The way people misunderstood that area is what has enabled our people, misleading them, making them to deny what that will help them and will save them from destruction. We are suffering many things today, not because our enemy is stronger than us, but because our people have missed the track, laid down our forefathers. And that is the problem. We are suffering today. Who is Agosa? Who is Fulani? Who is the enemy? And they do. The power, the chant, the invocation, whatever they have, what is it? Our God is beyond those things. We are greater than those things. That's why white men understood, even ourselves. White men understood us more than ourselves. That's why the Biafra is a mystery. That's why Biafra is a mystery to the whole world. If Biafra emerges today, things will begin to happen. Things will begin to happen. Things that men have never reasoned, that have never gone in the mind of men in this life, will begin to manifest. So, nevertheless, go on with your teachings, your preaching, your whatever. Just go on. I've been following you. You are very, very right and correct. May God bless you.
Thank you very much, my brother. The truth is what we tell people here. I'm not asking anybody subscribe to it or don't subscribe to it. I want you, if you are truly the son of your father, find out why they did all those things. It will amaze you. It will amaze you. The enemy of Biafra, first of all, destroy this thing. Destroy them completely. Leave us defenseless. Ikenga is in London. What is Ikenga doing in London? Do we begin to mention Ekbentu, Idugu, Akiemoho? The one you know and the one you don't know. But the evil, because you are a black man. Who Angel Gabriel, Angel Michael, Angel Teresa, all the whole angel, they are good. Benedictions do us in Sakula. Are you still there, caller on WhatsApp?
Yes, Master George Onyibe.
Good evening from
my parish priest. I respect you. I give you kudos, my parish priest. Master George Onyibe, you said it all. My name still remains Chibike Anyanwu. I'm from Imo State in Owerri. In Owerri, Ikeduru in Biafra land. Mazi George Onyibe, I want to use opportunity to thank you because I'm very happy because I will speak Igbo and they speak English. I'm very happy because of your salvation in Radio Biafra, make my mother to join IBOB and also to convert many women to join IPOB. So I say, may Chukwu Okike Abiama who give him that wisdom. Mazi George Onyibe, I want to comment something. Number one, before I comment anything, so I want to use this opportunity to tell all Biafrans all over the world. There is one social forum that is coming out now. They call it Church of Biafran Spirit Kingdom, whatever. And please, I know that all my brothers, all of us, we are passionate to anything about Biafra. We want to know everything about Biafra and we want our freedom. But I want to use this opportunity to tell you that our enemy, they are not still sleeping. Because I joined this forum that I'm telling you as a witness, because when I joined that forum, I discovered that forum was created by Ohaneze Ndo Shinandama, according to my supreme leader. And I called the full number and I started calling people. When I discovered the forum, I was asking questions. This forum is in which leadership of this forum. I want to know everything. Immediately I start asking that question. People was asking, that is true. Immediately they cut me off. I called a private number. I started calling people there. I discovered that when I discovered, one of the women told me that that is her husband. He's under Ohaneze Ndibo. That man name from his name is Ago from Izog. So and he married from Imo State in Owerri. When I started saying that, he cut me off, but I don't care. Please, I want to use also this opportunity to advise ourselves, our brothers. This is the time we need all those Ikenga and all the spiritual doctors that we are pursuing our freedom, and let us not be distracted. If every Izogu people, everybody should keep his whatever you believe on, because the time all those things is going to work is now. Awusa Fulanina is fooling in our place. Let us all those do everything you believe in. Please, you go to all the forest and keep all those things. Tell them and advise them the people you want him to kill. And not you. Let us stop showing ourselves ruggedity. You want to kill your brother, you want to kill. Let us kill our enemies first. That is the advice for every Biafran. Let us not be distraction from people. I got no ndira na agba gburugburu. I na say Iman Izogumene ki Izogumene. That is not the priority now. The priority now, the way forward. Otaigisi solve on the bani, save for our people. All those Ikenga and all those things you people are doing, keep it for us. You use it and neutralize our young youth. Kahajiri dikere mwenye ne kageti defend Dani. Mazi George Onyibe, that is what I want to say. And also I want to use this opportunity. Mazi George Onyibe, I say may Chukwu Okike Abiama bless you. Bless my leader, bless all the principal officers all over the world, because this our struggle we are doing. This is not the time. This is the time for we to show ourselves more superior, more grace and more wisdom, so that our enemies. I remember the last broadcast our supreme leader make. And that we have to follow that topic, because and let us not be distracting each other. That is not the most important thing. The most important thing is the way forward. Mazi George Onyibe, your topic, even if I started saying your topic one by one, I believe I cannot go out from your station. But I want also to tell all our brothers in Vietnam, all over the world, that I am thank God for Chukwu Okike Abiama for our IBOB in Vietnam, because I believe that God is doing wonderful. So I want to use the opportunity to tell all our brothers all over the world, if you have a brother in Vietnam, tell him to come and join IBOB. We hear more, and more, because I am very happy. The kind of people we did not expect in Vietnam is the people that is coming. Vietnam have been strong. Even we are praying now to have another forum, another family, by special grace of God, in another city. The way things are happening now. So, Mazi George Onyibe, I also use the opportunity to greet my national coordinator, Mazi Tony, aka Angel. I thank God for the way God is using him with more wisdom and everything to gather our people here. And also all the principal officers in Vietnam. I say, may Chukwu Okike Abiama bless them, strengthen them. And you, Mazi George Onyibe, thank you so much for giving me this time. I have many things to say, but let me just keep it till another day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mazi.
Thank you. Some people do not understand. We forbid the shedding of blood. If you kill somebody and the blood touches the ground, our ancestors forbid it. It defies the land. If you read Things Fall Apart and understand when Okonkwo was asked to kill the what is his name? Why did I forget the name? But there were something sacred about blood. We do not spill blood unnecessarily. And the moment we allow it in our land without responding to those who are doing that, we become an accomplice. Caller on the WhatsApp, are you still there? Caller on WhatsApp, are you still there?
I'm there. Good evening, Judge Onyibe.
Good evening from here, Mazi.
Yeah, I'm fine. Good evening. Hello.
Yemeke.
Yeah. Thank you, Judge Onyibe. I don't want to thank you much, but may our ancestor give you more strength. The ancestor who never allowed Fulani people to finish us in Anioma, may he give you more strength, more courage, and more understanding so that you can be educating our people, so we can realize that nothing white people give to us that is good. Education, we have education, but the thing about it is we put some nasty attitude. Our traditional way of life is the best. We just have to adopt the balancing sector of it with check, balance and check. This is the two things we need to adopt in our traditional way of life. Anybody who knows how to cure our forces, when somebody came to you because you say you know how to cure a forces, and it happens you didn't cure him well, authority, and you give him authority should go and arrest you, and when they arrest you, I want you to know that you do something wrong, so you reform your system. Biafra will be a different country. White people, I don't think they give us anything. I think they take a lot of things from us, but they put calculation, keeping record and reasoning into what they take from us, and they make use of it properly. And when they take our cocoa, they go and refine our cocoa and bring about 20-something or 50-something items back to us because we're stupid. The same thing they do in oil. They take our crude oil, they refine it, and they bring one to us, and the other ones, they're making use of it, and we are going there to buy and fill form and go. Judge Onyibe, anything about these people, Your Honor, we see, I don't want to go into there. I just want to let the whole traditional rulers in Anioma, we want to tell you that things is changed. I know you are very stupid, you are very rude. Yeah, you are very stupid and you are very rude. I want you to tell the inspector, all of you should do meeting this night, and tell the Inspector General of Police in Delta State to release everybody they hold in the prison. Release our children they hold in prison. I don't give a damn about anything. If you don't do it, the traditional rulers that is selling land in Anioma, after they slaughter 5,000 Anioma people, and you never say anything for nearly 50 years, and now the Fulani is arresting our people, our children, And you keep quiet. Release all of them now. Otherwise, there will be no traditional ruler in Anioma because all of you are fraud. Release our children. Fraud every time they come to our land and they keep killing us. After they kill us, finish, they pick up our children and lock them in prison. They hurt Chukuma. Nothing happened. Last time they go to Panam and Obio from Panam is there. Shake him out like Onyibe breast water in the mouth. Onyibe, I'm very, very angry with these people. These people are selling land. They're selling land. They never settle any issue related to brother and brother in Anioma, but they can sell land to Fulani people. Traditional ruler. And a Fulani man will come from nowhere, come be deciding for Anioma people, arresting our people, and yet nothing happened. They will go there, they tell them they're going to go to court. Before your court is sitting down there because it's for a traditional ruler. We want to tell you everything is going to go on fire soon. You think we're joking with you? Maybe you think you got money. That's silly money. We don't care about it. Release our children now. I'm going to cut off here. I'm sorry for my emotion. I'm not happy with this.
It's acceptable, my brother. Thank you very much. We must continue. Caller on WhatsApp, are you still there?
Onyibe, good evening from here.
Good evening from here. Go ahead, please.
This is Mazi Raf Ndikom. I came from Mwaka in Olo Province, Biafra land. But I served the indigenous people Biafra here in Russia as the national coordinator. Fellow Biafrans around the globe, Biafrans and friends of Biafrans and lovers of freedom around the globe. Greeting from Russia Federation. Actually, it is always a pleasure to be a partaker of the wonderful program that is being anchored by our able brother and in the person of Onyibe. Onyibe, may God come and bless you for all the great things you are doing for your fatherland. Indeed, I thank God for your program this evening, and this program you have been emphasizing on this program for more than that, for months, especially as going back to our roots. Actually, because ndị ba isi na ebe nwata na ebe akwa na-atụ aka nne ya ga-anọ ya nne ya nọ ya. So actually, this is going back to our roots. If you can remember our leader when he started this that is a few years back, when he started, that is in early of his messages. If we can bring them back, if we can replay them, he was always hammering on also going back to our roots, because that's one of the things that Chukwuka told him when he went to the temple of when he went to Israel, when he went to Jerusalem. It's one of the things that Chukwuka told him, for us to get Biafra, we must go back to our roots. And when he was saying that thing on Radio Biafra, many of us didn't understand, including myself very self. Not quite a while after listening to the broadcast several times, the whole thing starts sinking one by one. And also when he was saying that Radio Biafra is where we worship, that our religion Biafra is our religion. Many of us don't understand what it means. It's still going back to our roots, that Biafra is our religion. Because religion, the major problem we are suffering today in Biafra land is religion. And that religion is where? For the foreign religion in Biafra land. After the war, Biafra started having foreign religion. We have Fulani religion. We have Yoruba religion. We have Fulani religion. We have Hausa religion. We have Elizabeth religion. All this is that is Igwa Grogwa. That is mix, and that's why only you know that now that is they are playing with us, because I know why we have left the roots. And the same thing, if you take our mind back to the time of Israelites, what increased their trouble, their suffering is when they go back to when they left the roots, when they left that is the oracle, when they left this in Namash route. That is the guideline of Chukoke. That's always the time that Chukoke allowed the enemy to enter and then and deal with them. And then after he will intervene and deliver them. The same thing is happening to us, and our leader know this thing from onset. When he was telling us about the Yoruba church and other things, and then many people misunderstood him that time, saying that he's preaching religion. But now it's becoming clearer to us that we don't have any two way about it. There is no way, nothing like there is no other way to do it by going except by going back to our roots. And then going back to the root is to embrace Biafra, knowing that Biafra is our religion. Any other thing you are doing, any other religion you are taking, you are adding salt to your injury. You see, because if we can be able to hearken to this call or going back to our roots and then leaving the foreign gods that we are having, that cannot help us. A lot of them, they tell us that they will save us if you follow this way, you are saved. If you follow this one, this person had died for your sin. Then if you follow this one, all things pass away, everything becomes new. And yet every day you still going deeper in the mess. And then we cannot come to ourselves and ask ourselves, this thing that I'm having, if this religion that I'm following, if it is true, why am I still sinking instead of having improvement in my life? So I thank you for you, my brother, for still refreshing our memory, that to know that is the secret of us winning our enemy is going back to our roots. And by the grace of Chukwukama, all the people that are listening to Radio Biafra and the hardcore Biafrans, we are going back. We are going back to our roots. And that belief Chukwukama will intervene, especially this time the Fulani have surrendered us. And then, because very soon, very soon, Edwa is already there. And then we are going to we are going to confront that. Are they going to confront us? We are going to challenge them. We are going to also show them that also we are men. And us going to show you that is for us to defeat them, we must go with the right, that is with Chukwuke. That's the only way that will make us to come back with victory. And I thank God that our mind and our heart is already prepared. So I say, I pray, may God bless you, bless all the principal officers around the globe, and also bless all my executives and members of IPOB here in Russia, that God will guide us and keep us until all of us with one mind can be able to reach our promised land, that which is Biafra. I'm signing off from here. Most Korashafere. Thank you.
We must continue. Yes, a caller on WhatsApp. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Good evening.
Good evening from here. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Okay. My name is Chima Obi. I'm a native of Amuzari in Isi Alamban local government. I reside here in Madrid, Spain. I just want to appreciate you, Master Onyibe, for the topic this night. Although my radio have just stopped because I'm listening through simple radio, but it have just stopped, so I couldn't hear anything. I'll still continue. I hope that other people are hearing me. Honestly, I really want to appreciate you for this Back to Your Roots program. It's very, very educative. I must tell you the truth that I'm a beneficiary. Though I know most of all these things because I can tell you I witnessed Biafra, Nigerian Civil War, and I grew with elders. I can say my elder father is an Ichian also, which I followed through, and everything he has exactly educating here in Radio Biafra is completely how we grew up. Even what you mentioned about river. I know in my place there's a river where we grew up near river, right? We have a place where we fish, even where we take bath. And there, when the elders are even taking bath, we don't go there, we wait after we will go there with the young ones, we enter. Even there's a women's side, which there's a tree that fell down, but it didn't die. That field demarcates between the men and the women. We can be taking baths nakedly, but no one will cross the line to the women's side. So, honestly, the sanctity and the sanity you really explained, Radio Biafra, is true our root. But I hope that it will go deep down to many people, for the listeners, to wake up, to live to the reality. No, without taking much time, I want to use the opportunity to thank Ahamadike, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the king himself, who God have chosen at our time. I always call him my Nehemiah, because he said Nehemiah is that see that the walls of Jerusalem, of the center, have been broken down. So now they can come to rebuild the walls of our land, the walls, our spiritual world, physical world, financial, economic, both our mental world. It has been broken down. Our people have gone out of their way. Honestly, I have lived here in Europe. This is almost my 30 years here in Europe. So I see how they do things. They keep to their culture. In the Netherlands, every 1st of January, they go to the sea, where they call in a Scheveningen. Everybody who knows they are in Den Haag, where you have international criminal court. Every 1st of January, they do a sacrifice in that place. What are they doing? Why do they call them? They have shell. Nowhere shell is deep down the sea. Here also in Spain, every city have their culture. Every year, no matter what it costs, they must celebrate it. They must keep to it. But our own, we have lost our ways because of westernization and the church that have bamboozled our people, their brain, they lost their brain. Well, I will have much to speak, but because of time factor, I have to give room for others to speak. I thank you very much. I really appreciate. May the Chukwu Okike continue to keep you and give you more wisdom and strength to continue in this struggle and in this teaching of back to our roots, so that our people should wake up from their stupidity and embrace the truth and they see the light in it. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Thank you very much. We must continue. Call on WhatsApp.
Agwatrombe Kembuni Biafra land. Agwatrombe mene teke offensin. Yeah, my beloved, good evening, my brother from another womb. I appreciate you once again. Yeah, I remember what I miscount, okay? Foreigners see you from Warsaw, Poland. I heard from Omaka. Omaka is in all the province of Biafra land. But I appreciate Onion and every other person doing the needful, what he's supposed to do. And those are them defending our motherland. They can keep all of them. Mazi, yeah, so a lot of things is baffling me. There was one video I watched today. Mazi, see what is happening to us. Anything that is happening to us is within us. You see, the destruction, I'll have to set an example with this or the major. I saw the video where all this thing they call deliverance. They are destroying ancient things in Biafra land. Now, the Yorubas who have been, but now is our people. They continue to destroy those things. During this genocide they brought out, the Biafra, the Nigeria genocide against the Biafra, they call it the Biafra war. Those things that defended our land, the war was not fought with only gun and the stick alone. There are things that helped our forefathers become successful, that this British could not turn them, according to not after 30 years. You think that war was fought with a bare hand alone? There are things of the spirit people don't know. And the issue of destroying all these things does not help us. Now, this is the time we need them. We've been saying it. If you know whatever you have now, even if you're Gomo, if you're a kidnapper, if you have any charm, like he rightly said, use it against this one, against these enemies now. You don't use it against your brother. So, Mazi, going back to our root, we don't know what you are doing. You don't know what impact you are making in our lives worldwide. Biafra is all over the world. Every hardcore Biafra, every listener of Radio Biafra, we are learning a lot of things every day by day. Mazi, we appreciate you. And we continue to tell our people, don't let them destroy your ancient thing your fathers left for you. Like my brother Israel, who just spoke now, Madrid. Mazi, we are here in Europe. Every January, February, all these things, they have it. And even the what we call Wakwa, they have it here. And they have it in their museum. And we go and pay money to what? Watch any 80 years in Europe is not one day.
They even dance at a log. They dance at a log.
Yes. Our people are continuing to destroy our own. They come there, they steal everything back in. When our people are doing it, becomes bad, it becomes richer. But here we go and watch it. You see them on the street. They come the whole Europe here. We go around. And our people will continue destroying our things, thinking that when that war comes, we will do our own, and those things have their own, they will do. So please stop destroying this, our ancient things. We need them. We need them. They are doing their own, but you might not know. Chukwokaba will do his own. Those things that they are doing their own. There are things we saw from our forefather that is good. We keep them. And the worst one, we leave them. And people, when we talk now, somebody say, you're fair, no. Mazi, I said that I will tell my Imo brothers and sisters, wherever they are, those of them in diaspora, please. Our project is on now. We're under siege. We have Emia in the Imo state. We have this also Dimbadia. And all these Fulanis, Alamajirisi, that is their bed because they have their suji there. And that's why we are trying to make sure that wherever you are in Biafra, in Imo state, that you are getting Radio Biafra, no matter your province, no matter your town, no matter your village, whether you are inside the army or whatever, you are getting Radio Biafra. Please call the number +48739 672 638. +48739 672 638. The earlier the better, please. We want to I talk on Nile now. What I did on Gobolino. Me no number Tolu local government. Me no number no Mbise. Or whether sanitary and all. Please call the number. Chukwuka keep all of you. Mazi, finally, that concourse was Ahamefle, okay?
Thank you very much, because I'm always mistaking it with
thank you.
Thank you very much. We must continue. Our people must understand this truth, embrace this truth. Is going to help us. Before I take the next caller, let me give you an assignment. Go to your village. Anybody that have sold artifact from any shrine in your village, watch that person. You will see they are not normal. There were time in the 80s, it was very lucrative business to sell artifacts from the shrines, as they call it. Go and watch all the people involved in selling the artifacts from the community shrine. Go and watch all of them. The one that receive mercy are drunkard. None of them went free. Caller and WhatsApp, are you still there?
Yes, I am here.
Good evening from here. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Good evening, IPOB worldwide. Good evening, want this medium to thank our leader who really taught us so well in the person of Mazi Namdi Okukamu, as well as I thank our able deputy leader, the person of Mazi Uchoka Fomofo, and every other principal officer, with yourself, my big brother Mazi George Onyibe. You've been doing wonderfully well, consistently teaching us on how to get back to life, because our roots is our life. You made so many points this night that touched me. The goosebumps on my body are still there. When you made mention of this city gate thing, where I come from, sorry, my name is Ikenna Anozia. I come from Izombe, and Izombe is in Uguta. Uguta is in Imo, Biafra land. When you made mention of this city gate, what we call it where we come from is Ama Uku. Ama Uku is where we take town decisions. That is where we settle disputes. That is after we have finished praying, because each time we gathered at Amuku, we prayed. After praying, then if there was any pain in town, any problem or any discrepancy, we settled it there. So when you made mention of this city gate and how our people have sold out these spots to foreign migrants, I knew exactly what you meant. Very, 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 very right about that. And then this takes me to the way we have lost our market days and how we respected these market days. You touched that aspect also. There are certain market days that we, as in the traditional market days, the AKO, that we don't even go to farm. And as a matter of fact, when we worked in line with these principles, we are having everything in abundance, right from our local beans, which we call akele, to oil, to any kind of food that even our natural resources are still functional. Our local regions produce salt. we got water from the river, processed it to salt. We had everything. We never depended on any ethnic group to send us anything. So we respected the land, we respected the custom, and then the land blessed us abundantly. You see, so having all these things, you see now, if you need anything, most times it's from other tribes that the things we eat. Those we have moved away from the fundamentals of our forefathers. And this is stated to what you said about witch doctors. Witch doctors, yes. When you made this one, when you said this one too, I understood everything. Because the witch doctor is the strata or the effect of doctors, native doctors, because we say native doctor, it becomes satanic. Native doctors that do killing, as you said. Yes, that is true. I think as much as killing is there, I can say, okay, that one is not something we should praise. But I want somebody to tell me the difference between these native doctors and several other Western doctors or those such as scientists or medical that invent HIV.
The point I was making on that aspect, I said the same way you have different angles of Western medical doctors like optician, gynecologist, and orthopedists, the rest of them. I said that is the same way we still have different kind of native doctor. We have the one that is responsible for killing. That is their job. But even though those ones were allowed to live in the community, we have a system of authority that can command the king as well as Ezemo. There is somebody who have the mandate to rebuke the king as well as that evil native doctor. They allow them to exist. That is why when problem come, they will go and ask that evil native doctor. We have evil. We are not running away from it. They say, are you responsible for the death of so person? He will say no. The community will know that this is a foreign attack. They will get ready. But if he say yes, he's the one, he will answer question. And if the ground upon which that thing is done is not justified, he and the person that hired him, both of them are in trouble. They will pay serious fine to the community. I'm not going to say some of their cultures were actually good. Some are bad, but they were still under control.
Under control. Please. Okay, so what I'm saying is, can somebody tell me the how? Because when they say they are native doctors, irrespective of their own specialization now, they will say they are tetanic. That is what we hear in modern days. All the people that invented coronavirus, HIV, Ebola, what do they regard those people as? Are they heavenly? See, it is better we just please. See, when we say these things, it looks like playing. We need to go back to our roots. As you said it, we need to go back to our roots so we will be able to live like our forefathers lived. We will be able to at least have a lengthy life span or time. I could remember in one of my leaders' broadcasts, he said that at a point in time, some expansionists coming from conquest, they entered Biafra land and they never returned. My brother, that was when the land was really working for us. They entered there and the land swallowed them up. No carcasses was found, nothing. They never returned. So I don't see the reason why people will say, I didn't see this very return to your root program as something to play with. We are gone. No? I live in a town called Okwe. Okwe is in Delta State. I just left Opanam. I mean, Washi the other day. I know Abo very well. I know I've been in Delta State from 1992. So all these things they are saying that they kill somebody at Opanam and the youth went there to push them away, and now the traditional rulers are now against the youth. It's something that we experience, and when they say Abo, they say Opanam. Opanam is just a stone throw from where I live. It happened real. We are finished. We have to get back to the roots so that we can have a divine protection from our heavenly God, and then our land. So I encourage my brothers to abide by the norms or by the teachings that you give them. It's prophetic, I tell you the truth, my brother. I wouldn't want to go further. I would like to drop so that some brothers or any other person that will run a call can call and make his own contribution. Thank you, Mazi George Onyibe.
Yes, sir, thank you very much. And this is where we draw the curtain for this segment. And of course, do not go anywhere because I'm going to come back right after this timeout.
Biafra, in Biafra land, we're running to Sanguari away from our province. Legend Rasta, Baba Chumsy. I see you, Jenny.
See me, I come from Biafra. See, I come from Biafra. I come from the land of the rising sun. Is the land of my birth. See me, I come from Biafra. Oh, I am from Biafra. Yeah, I'm proud of the land of the rising sun. Is the land of my birth.
I will never be frustrated. I will never run away. I will always believe in the word the king and my father told me. Oh, my Biafra is a beautiful place, and it's so good for the people to live. No wonder people they are free, no pressure here to see. If you like, make you follow me, go. I'm gonna show you many things you will like. So be inside the Biafra life.
See me, I come from Biafra. See, I come from Biafra. I come from the land of the rising sun. Is the land of my birth. See me, I come from Biafra. Oh, I am from Biafra. Yeah, I'm proud of the land of the rising sun. Is the land of my birth.
I wanna go. Plenty things I see make me wanna go. No matter what the people say, no matter what they do, Biafra is my land full of good people. No matter what they do to bring us back, forward ever, backward never. Let me hear you say freedom, brother. Let me hear you say freedom. Let me hear you say freedom. My sister, let me hear you say no, no. Freedom. Oh, yeah, yeah.
See me, I come from Biafra. See, I come from Biafra. I come from the land of the rising sun. Is the land of my birth. See me, I come from Biafra. Oh, I am from Biafra. Yeah, I'm proud of the land of the rising sun. Is the land of my birth. See, I'm the daughter of the Most High. We are the children of the Most High. They are planning for our downfall, but the Most High is on our side. Gone are the days of misery. Truly, right now we are seeing victory. Hey, all I see is freedom. No matter what they do, we are gonna be free. Hey, I'm proud to be a Biafran, baby. I'm not ashamed to be a Biafran, baby. See me, I come from Biafra. See, I come from Biafra. See, I come from Biafra. I come from the land of the rising sun. Is the land of my birth. See me, I come from Biafra. Oh, I am from Biafra. Yeah, I'm proud of the land of the rising sun. Is the land of my birth. I'm proud to be a Biafran.
Make way for them and there. He don't call them and do them and have the vampires. Make way for them. This way you know them and there. For Abba provides there. You gotta put respect to our leader, Martin Namdekano.